Yeah, so Industry Connect was just one of those things that like I like the BI track because I didn't know if I really wanted to be a full developer. Like I just like solving problems more creatively and sort of, managing processes with databases, because there's always a more efficient way to do stuff. Like you start with Excel, you can make Excel's a great tool. Like it's always going to be like the first tool you go to just crunch some numbers real quick, and that's not a bad thing. I think that you just got to naturally progress through the stages of like, you don't want to reach for like pandas or like PyTorch or something like that and try and apply AI to your your two-line code problem sort of thing. But I really liked Industry Connect. I thought it was quite flexible because I didn't know if I was going to have a job during the day, like I was pressed for money sort of things. The night courses for like the first like 6 or 8 weeks of the course were really good. They covered some stuff that I already knew, but they kind of went through it methodically to try and build up, through the Microsoft stack, because I think that whether you're inside the Microsoft stack or outside of it, a lot of the concepts in there are, ubiquitous to basically any stack you're going to work with. And so, the SSRS, Power BI, SSAS, integration services, like those are all like kind of fundamental concepts that regardless of if you're using the Microsoft stack, if you're using Postgres, SQL, or like a relational database system, like the same concepts basically apply. The same sort of relationships between your data, like one-to-many, one-to-one, many-to-many, like trying to query a database between many and many, and sometimes you don't understand why it works or whatever. But like knowing that sort of stuff really helps you, because like you're always gonna like reach a deeper level of understanding as you work, because you go back to your code or your database that you built before or your data structure, and you basically say, oh, this looks pretty crap. I can't believe I made this, or I can't believe I made this. But you only know that by having made it and having had work with it. And so it was a bit, I started the internship at MVP, and I think that, so you went through like sort of like the sprint structure, which I think is very reflective of the real world. Basically Scrum and Agile are basically everywhere, I think. For coders or for, business intelligence people, like a lot of times you don't need a big meeting for something, you just need to talk to someone directly through Slack or something like that, just to focus on the issue that you guys are trying to solve together. But it's also really good to, get the round table meetings, see where everyone's at so that you can know what people are doing. So when you have something that's going to be eventually integrated with, the people across the room from you, you know how that's going to go together. And so I really like that about MVP. The bi-weekly, I forget if it was Scrum or Agile, but basically meeting. But I like that. I like that the challenge ramped up pretty quick, like especially when we got the transport data. So, it goes slow and you think that, you can focus on other stuff or you can do some other stuff in your time, because at the weekly roundup meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're hearing from a lot of stuff all over the board, and you may want to get to know something about, some part about JavaScript or React, or you didn't know about that. Like as a business intelligence, your data is going to be expressed online, but you don't know the JavaScript library that's going to like display that data. And you didn't know that was like the next step of like from Power BI to actually rendering the data online to be even more flexible, because you can write it in code as opposed to being restricted to Power BI. But like, so when I came over here, it was, I ended up staying up pretty late to join the meetings. I try to be really involved, especially in like the the soft skills sessions. I found soft skills to be incredibly meaningful to any sort of business intelligence job, because I think one of the trends that I have observed over here is a lot of companies are creating business intelligence positions, and they're new positions, they're newly established, so the expectations are kind of like, well, you just do your business intelligence stuff, and if when you show them the dashboard, they're like, wow, and you're like, oh my god, there's so many bugs in this, like don't click on this button because it doesn't actually work. But yeah, so I like that the MVP gave you like real life data. It feels really good to not be walking through sort of like a textbook problem or using a textbook model, to actually have real data which comes from like a variety of different data sources that are somewhat well mangled by someone. I forget their name, but I actually figured out who mangled the spreadsheets because I could see it on like the Git history or whatever. But yeah, so what I really liked was the fact that it walked you through the basics quite deliberately, and then you got real data and stuff went at a real world pace. That was basically it.